I'm a little nervous. So one thing I have to do, because like my grandma doesn't believe I actually do this stuff, I do need to take a selfie to prove to her that like I actually go to these things and I speak, so because she doesn't believe me. So we're gonna take like a group selfie. I'm gonna try to get y'all over there. Let's see. If my phone wants to work. Here we go. All right, everybody ready? Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody say, hey, Grandma.
Hey, Grandma.
Thank you. Okay, so today I can't see my notes, so I'm gonna wing it a little bit. But I'm going to talk about web-based augmented reality. And you're probably like, you do talent brand, what do you know about augmented reality? Well, you know, it really helps in enhancing experiences, making things more memorable. So we're going to go over pretty much why, how we're going to start with like the composition of building out web AR. We're going to get into like scene building, and then I have like a little image trigger like example that I can show y'all. So we're just gonna jump in. So yes, why web AR? So my biggest thing is we are living in a world where there's very obviously a digital divide. And as we begin to innovate and iterate and build on all these things on the internet, a lot of times we're creating these bigger gaps. So, you know, most AR, it's inside of an app somewhere. It's living in the Amazon app. It's living in Instagram. Or if somebody does an AR thing, you have to download a separate app that you're never going to use again. Or what if your phone doesn't take the app because you have an older phone? So that's that digital divide that we really want to close. So so it's more accessible. And what I learned, why I got excited about web-based AR, it's building on the basics. So we're gonna start with HTML here, which is like crazy if you're thinking about it, because we're doing AR and HTML. You're gonna get more use. People are gonna use it more because they don't have to have that extra app. They don't have to go through those extra steps. And just more connection, because like I said, it really enhances a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Experiences, events. It can enhance the classroom experience where you can have AR modeling going through the instruction. You can do wayfinding. We have a scavenger hunt in the Dropbox area, shameless plug. So get into it. So the composition. And you're gonna like see me in these like different things because I was in a video game, so I figured it went with the thing and just theme. I'm a gamer, I like games, so this is why it's like this. So it does start with HTML. So we're gonna just start and we're gonna pretend that you already have a server where you can spin up an index.html page. So it starts like this. Of course, you have like your HTML, your head, but you're going to be using 3.js to be calling some of the things. So it's gonna be a little bit of Java. You're gonna be using some CSS to build out some of the things in there. So you start with your index so that you're pulling from all the things that you need. We're gonna talk about WebGL a little bit because that's a really cool library. And so yeah, so also this deck will be on my website because I know like trying to sit here and write down a full code snippet is crazy. So I will have it available on my website so everybody can just have it. So yes, it starts with HTML. And so once you have your HTML, your index.html page, you can then start building out the other files that will really actually bring up the rendering of the web AR. Oh, and I did not put my phone on silent. Don't mind that. It's just chicken head. Because who doesn't like 3-6 Mafia? So this is where we're starting to build out our scene. So with this, it's going to be like a simple cube. But as you can see, we're going to use like some of our CSS knowledge to build out that cube. And use mesh basic material through 3.js. So it's a 3.scene. This would be in that activate XR function in our, come on, words, index.html app. I'm sorry, words are hard. It's already been a long weekend. So this code snippet right here is actually building out the box that will be inside of like the AR experience. So And then, so you have to also use a little bit of that WebGL. So WebGL is like this really cool library for 2D, 3D, VR, AR, all that good stuff to really pull the canvas together. So you're going to use that to really draw the scene and connect the camera so the viewport knows what to do with that information. So another code snippet using some 3GS, calling WebGL. But I can go to the next one. And so then we're also getting into WebXR. So your entry point to WebXR is going to be through the XR system request session. So you're going to use WebXR to have an immersive AR mode. And that's really going to allow the content to render. So this is our code snippet for that. You're going to do localhost, and so you're going to be on your own server, own website. You can also do this on shared hosting too. So like you don't, if you're not comfortable spinning up your own server, you can like use shared hosting for that. And so yes, so WebXR, and we'll get into a little bit of that too. So that's going to give you some layers and really actually allow you to render the actual subject in an AR environment. Okay, so rendering the scene, lots more code. So we're using XR again. So that's going to do the callback for the browser is ready to draw up the frame. And also using the viewer pose so that it actually can render it inside of the space and understand the geography of the space where you're using it in. So yes, more code snippets. And again, we'll be on my website, so don't fret, I'm gonna put it up there tonight. Okay, and so this is what it's going to end up looking like once you render your scene. So this is like our little box here, and it's in like this space. So you're using like HTML, CSS, some JS to really bring that together. And the libraries are really what help to render everything and get you what you need to compose the scene, compose the location information, and make sure that the camera is actually the viewport and knows what to do. So also, and this is like more of an AR hit test. So I have some like code snippets on how to run a hit test, but I was gonna be really long in here, so I cut that out, but that'll be on my website too. And so basically, you would use the hit test to find surfaces and be able to put things onto surfaces, but all through web-based AR. So you're not using a different camera or anything. It's just going back to the website, that index.html file you started to render everything. So it can be in most browsers, anything that's compatible with, what's the word I'm looking for, an index.html file. And as long as your camera can handle being the viewport, then it's going to work more consistently and across the board, across different OSs, different Android models, different, whatever you have. If you have a BlackBerry, it's gonna work on the BlackBerry too. So, so it does give you more accessibility and more ability to have more people use it and not have that digital divide where people can't get that, because that's something we're actually kind of experiencing right now. It's not on a big scale, but one person was like, I don't have room on my phone to download the app for AR, and I'm like, that's why we need to move to web-based AR, because you wouldn't even have to do that. So yes, more accessibility. And so I'm gonna give you guys a little example, so if you wanna take your phones out, I have a QR code here that will take you to the platform, the experience, and then this will be your image trigger for it. So let me know if that works. If it doesn't work, I'm sorry. Anybody got it working? It's things that you can like click on and press. I see phones up. Is it working?
It's downloading.
Oh, it's downloading. Oh, yep.
I just hadn't downloaded
Okay.
for preparing.
I'm like, I can hang out for a minute. Oh, I kind of speedballed through this one. Okay. Yeah, so that's another platform that, like, so as soon as you guys do that. So Adobe Aero is another platform that's going to allow you to do a lot of it without any code, which is really fun. And you're really going to be using Photoshop and Illustrator to make those 3D objects with that, and being able to load them in there, play around with them, give them different triggers, things like that. So that's another platform that's really cool to use when exploring AR. And while it did tell you to like download a little bit of something, it's not a whole app. So it's not even an app that's gonna stay on your phone. It's just to get that viewport for your camera. So did it work? Anybody?
Says locate this image to view this.
Should I get out the way?
I'm aiming at it.
No? Dang. Well, I tried, y'all.
This is from, so when I overlay the image, it's supposed to.
Yeah, stuff is supposed to pop up. It's not popping up? So yeah, once you, it should have something once you go to the, if you show the image on your phone, if you get it on your screen, it should, no? Ah, boo, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm like, well, we could do it later. Find me later. I have the sticker on my laptop so we can do it then. But anywho, that was supposed to be an AR experience that you guys were supposed to do. Well, it's supposed to like pop up with some little things so you can like go to my website, you can like go to my contact information. It's gonna be like a little picture of me. But maybe the screen is too bright and that's why it's not catching it.
I was going to ask if you think those are some content images or not content images, the compilations I made.
Possibly, possibly. I'm like, now that makes me sad.
Like it works, but then it goes to this like Adobe Aero page.
Yeah, it should, yeah, and you wanna like continue through it.
Yeah, so I did the like can't view and then copy the link and then put it back here and it just goes to the same place. And then I downloaded it and I thought that might change something.
And it didn't, still didn't do, okay. Well, we'll move on. 'Cause- yeah, it should work for both. That's so weird. Okay, anywho, we can do it later at my computer if you want to. But it was going to be like an AR experience where it was going to have some pop-ups and some animation and stuff like that, really cute. But anywho, moving right along. So, web-based AR, so it's really cool that it starts with an HTML base. I just got really excited about that because I'm like, to do something that I feel is like overly complicated, but to start with HTML, I'm like, that like took all the anxiety off. I'm like, oh, I can do that. I can start an HTML page. And then databases are cool too. So if your server can host a database, you can also create databases for images that you can pull so that it will pull multiple images and multiple image triggers from this database of images. And then tracking, so you would continue to use Java to enable that tracking and everything so that you can like pick up those images. You can you can do the hit test where you're putting it on surfaces, things like that. But I just really love that it starts with HTML. That's just my thing. So next. So this is the database code snippet. So if you wanted to do a database with images, you're definitely going to use Java. So the first one is where you would be basically creating the database for augmented images. And once you create the database, then you can use AR Core, which is a Google platform, and that will look through the images, match with feature points, and get those images together and use them as the tracking. So I really like the idea of using a database so you can have like multiple image triggers instead of just one. It can pull it for you, and that's all going on your server instead of inside of a separate app. And again, be on my website so you don't have to try to copy this down. So wanted to go over all the tools and everything. So we got our server is what we're spinning up for like the index.html file, basically standing up a static web page. You want it to be able to host a database. And you can maybe like start, I would also recommend starting like a small project site if this is something that you really want to get into. So like start like a website where it would be like multiple experiences that people could go through and things like that. So that could be really cool. I like AR Core, which is a Google platform with Google developers, and really I like it because they have mad documentation. Like, there's no way that you can't get it because they have so many ways to teach you how to do it. With using AR Core and the libraries that they use, like WebXR, WebGL, it's going to have more cross-platform compatibility. And then, like I said, it's going to be using the WebXR and the 3.js. And so then we have WebGL, which is one of the bigger libraries that I really love. And it's using a Java API. It renders the content, again, a vast library, and it's WebXR compatible. So just, oh, you just said WebXR. And so again, your languages, so it's pretty simple, HTML, CSS, JS, and Java. So I just like the fact that it's not like Python and Ruby on Rails and all these other things you would have to learn to try to get it done. It's just, really, really simple. So next. So again, so one of the things that I see with AR is that a lot of companies look at it as like a nice to have and not like a need to have. And that's where like we as designers need to like really advocate for it, and especially web-based, because that way you're having it more accessible. It's more, it's easier to use. It's living on your own platform. So if like your company is all about security risk, it's like, no, we can build it in-house. So really embedding your experiences in every design and using Web AR to really enhance that. So really just truly making it seamless across the board, one seamless experience. I like to think of it as like, no, we're no longer designing objects, we're designing full experiences. So think of it as like one full flowing thing, and you want to embed whatever it is, your branding, the type of experience, everything into like that whole thing. And and AR really helps with that. It really enhances it. So with that said, that's all I got. Does anybody have any questions? I can take questions. I got like 7 minutes. Yes, ma'am.
How long in the beginning of your journey do you think it took to learn those languages and get to the point?
That's a good question. So like in college, I took like a few like Java and JavaScript classes. And then in my web development career, I learned a lot more. So with what I learned in the past, it helped me figure this out pretty easily. So I would say if you've never worked with like Java or JavaScript, you could do like some foundational classes and really understand a lot of this, because it's really simple. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have some examples of like some fun brand experiences that you've used this in the past?
Well, the one that we're doing right now at the drop, it is app-based, but it's still a really cool AR experience. I have not used it at an event in the past, but I have used it for different things like my own DJ stuff, to like enhance the stickers and things like that. So, well, I'll show you. If you come over to the Dropbox thing, I'll show you, because I have the stickers with me. I just think this screen, it ruined it. I'm sorry, y'all. Yes, but you definitely gonna have to speak up.
So we started with Adobe Aero.
Yeah, so the example was through the platform Adobe Aero, yeah.
So where does that fit in with the stack that you showed?
So instead of using my own server, I used theirs basically. And that way I didn't have to didn't have to have you guys download like an entire app. With theirs, it has you download kind of like just like basically the viewport section.
Okay.
And that's how that one works. But I like it because it allows you to practice with AR without having to use code.
Okay, that's the part that I remember you saying. and
So
I was
Adobe
trying to
Aero is
figure
really
out that
fun.
part. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll switch to this. So I have some like resources here. So again, it's going to be on my website so that you guys can have all these links. But like AR Core is great for like the straight up from scratch development of it. Coursera by Meta has classes on web-based AR, so that's another resource for learning all the Java and stuff, Coursera by Meta. Spark AR is also a Meta product, and that does really cool stuff by helping you learn a lot of different AR things that you can push to their family of apps like Facebook and Instagram, and have like your own filters, and you can learn about like face mesh, so you can do those like beauty filters and all that cool stuff. So, but it looks like there's a question.
Yes. If you chose to go with your own app, are you able to use the database function in conjunction with location with the phone to be able to display different augmented realities?
Yes. So there is code for that you can add. You would have to like build out another file and connect it to your index.html. But yeah, through I think it is Java. I want to say it's JavaScript, where it allows you to do location tracking as well as the triggers, so that if you're wanting to track it like in a particular like geolocation, you can definitely do that. Yeah, definitely. Mike, was there anybody? Oh. Ooh, that's a tough one, because I like the libraries because they have all the meshes and everything in them already.
I get it, but sometimes, you know, you're trying to build something unique and it's not out there.
Ooh.
And,
I think that's where your database, you're gonna have to build out that database, and build out a lot of those things yourself, and then make it so that it can, whatever platform you're using, like AR Core, make it so that that platform can utilize different triggers and things to be able to pull that stuff out. So yeah, that's gonna be in the building of the database, definitely. But that's crazy. If you're gonna do that on your own, go ahead. I'm like, call me when it's done. Let me know how you did it. Any other questions? It's okay if you don't. I can wrap this thing up.
What's something you still feel like you want to learn or know in this space? I know it's ever evolving and there's always something coming out.
So one thing that he mentioned was the geolocation. I really want to get into that, so that it's more so you're in a space and more like Pokemon Go, if you will. Yes. So I really want to get into that and learn that part of the AR experience. And really create like gamification around it. Right. I think it's really, it can be really good for education as well. So that's one thing I really want to get into, is the geolocation, because you can also do like wayfinding. Like, for example, if there was like an AR component in like the Render app and we did wayfinding, we could easily like pick up the phone, have it out in the convention center, and have it give you directions on which way you need to go. So the geolocation is something I really do want to get into.
In regards to like a hit test, and you already having a library of things that you would build out for that space, you can deploy it at the time of, but say you wanted to make something really immersive in a space this large, would you need to come and do that in advance?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you would have to. So that you had like pictures of the space, so that when people open up their phone, it knows to open up that wayfinding. Yeah.
So it's still requiring physical.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. But that's where that geolocation also comes in, so you don't have to take all of those pictures. You can use it based on where they're located, if you're located in the building, what part of the building, that kind of stuff. So that's really cool stuff. Yes. Thank you. Is there anybody else? I'm like, no, I can wrap this thing up. Well, thank y'all. It's been fun. I'm sorry my example didn't work, but if you come to the Dropbox area, we can play with it, and I can show you how it works there. This one. So we're like out the door and like around the corner. Yep. So thank y'all so much. This was fun. My website is heyashten.com, so it will be on there. I'll post on like my everything else is at Hey Ashten, so I'll post on there to let you know that it's up there. And yeah, thank y'all so much. This was fun.
Go Ashten, go Ashten. So wait, before you get out of here, you were a DJ?
Yeah.
Girl, what? Okay, I gotta know. Y'all, we've been asking the Atlanta questions. What's your favorite song by an Atlanta artist?
Oh, I would definitely have to say International Players Anthem. It is my trap karaoke song. So. Without a rubber, she's like it on top of the cover, money on the dresser, drive a compressor, top notch, like the most, not the lesser. Hey, yeah, I'm telling you, I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
So if I pulled out some ones and twos right now, what you doing? What you doing?
Oh, I could do all kind of stuff. Look, I was trying to get them to hire me for the parties. I'm like, look, I could speak and DJ. I could do it both.
Well, you heard it here first. So next year we getting Ashten on the ones and twos.